Hello, everyone. Thank you for checking out Fort Worth Roots. This is a variety interview podcast based right here out of Fort Worth, Texas. This is one of the 10 episodes we're using to launch the podcast. If you'd like to see show notes or see our social media links, go to fortworthroots.com. Again, thank you so much for being here. Please leave us comments and send us emails so we know what to do to get this thing right. Let's start the show. Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us for another episode. My guest today just graduated from A&M with her MS in sports management. After graduating from SMU, she began working with sports media companies in the Dallas area. She's covered everybody from the Dallas Mavericks all the way back to SMU football and basketball. Recently, she took over all the social media marketing for Inside the Huddle, which is a Cowboys talk show filmed out of the House of Blues. Please give it up for Mollie Mayfield. Hi, Mollie.
Hello.
How'd I do? Was that okay?
Yes, that was perfect.
I'll probably hate it, and then I'll redo it. But thank you for being here. Let's do a name drop real quick for your company, MRM Agencies. They can find your website at mrmagencies.org.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I like to get that business side of stuff out of the way first. You want to tell us a little bit about mrmagencies.org?
Yes. So, like you said, I went to SMU. It's always been my dream to do broadcast journalism.
Mm-hmm.
So all through college, that's all I did was do SMU TV and all this stuff. And then once I got out, started exploring the real world, and I got to see more of like the marketing communication side for SMU athletics. And so I just started doing more research on that. And so then I saw Texas A&M has an online sports management program. I was like, I'll just do that. And so while I was doing that, I was also doing part-time marketing for a boutique over in Plano. And it was actually, I think a year ago, I quit. I was just like, I just could not work for people, or like I can work with people, but I just didn't like, I don't know, just the way they were wanting to have me run marketing, all this stuff. I was like, I'm just going to do it myself. So it's been about a year that I just did freelance and just started to rebrand from photography and production over to just full-on marketing and management and stuff. And so
your website looks like you cover everything. Did you develop the website that you're using right now?
Yes, I built it all myself.
'Cause it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Very clean, very easy to navigate. I've developed a couple of websites myself using other people's website builders, and it always looks like crap. But it looks like you've got it figured out.
Yes, that's my main goal. Make it look clean and polished and easy to navigate throughout.
So what goes into social media marketing for a boutique? That sounds, on the surface, that sounds like they don't really go together.
Oh, I think I've finally vowed to myself to never mess with boutiques ever again, just because like marketing my company, that's like my baby. And then boutiques and their owners, that's, oh my gosh, that's like twins. They're like going to take care of it no matter what. Baby. And so it's very challenging because like small boutiques, they do have a lot of support, and they have support from women that just want to spend money all day. And so it's like one day you take these photos and you're like, oh, you have to like get them out and publish like the next day, or it's like sold out. And it's like, what's this photo going to be worth now? And so. Oh,
so they'd have like 20 or 30 of that item. You'd put it out 24 hours later and it'd be gone? Or?
They have 2 of each size of one item.
Okay.
Oh,
it's a boutique, right? Small.
Oh, yes. Very
cozy.
Exclusive. Yeah. And so, it's like they only have 6 of one item, so you have to get published very fast, or it's sold out and like you can't use the photo. Mm-hmm. And so, I would just vow to never deal with boutiques ever again.
That's Ruger. And we had a dog sitter, and that fell through. So he's being very polite right now. He's
so fluffy.
A year and a half now, and he is just a ball of furious energy. So I took him out this morning, tried to wear him out. He's doing pretty good, though. He will slobber all over you, so I don't know if those are your good shorts, but no. So I cut your intro down a little bit, but you have a huge list of places that you've worked, and I was familiar with about 90% of them. They're big names.
Yes.
How do you get into stuff like that? Because I'm constantly trying to contact people like for one reason or another, lately it's been to come on this show. And it's hard. It's hard to get your foot in the door with people like that because they're constantly bombarded by everybody trying to do the same thing that I'm trying to do. So how did you get in touch with big name places like that?
I guess it's just putting myself out there. I just for a while just kept saying yes to opportunities, and just because like I knew starting out in the media industry wasn't gonna pay well at all.
Right.
And so like I've had like opportunities to go to like North Dakota for like an anchoring job. I'm like, I don't want to go up there for like
To anchor on what?
on like a little TV station talking about who knows what. I'm like, it's cold up there. Like, no, never mind.
You didn't do it?
Oh no.
I want to go to North Dakota so bad.
Oh, well, I'll send you the link and
And you
can
haven't
go.
been?
No. Well, I have when I was like little, but like never like actually lived up there.
Yeah.
Just like passed through it.
It's on the list. I don't know why North Dakota, but it's one of the places I want to go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so
I think because it's so sparsely populated. It sounds like a nice place.
So I just kept saying yes to opportunities, and just like one person's like, hey, I know this person. They probably need photos or something.
Yeah.
And I think the best opportunity I ever did was, I think it was about 2 years ago. I went and auditioned for Big Brother.
Really?
And so they were having an audition at Nebraska Furniture Mart. And so
The one over there in, was it Carrollton?
it's in the Colony.
Colony. Okay.
And so, because I've always been a huge fan of the show. And so,
What season was it for?
gosh, 2 years ago. Oh my goodness, I don't even remember who was on. I don't know. Now I have to go back and watch it.
I threw you a curveball.
And
But 2 years ago.
And so I was sitting there, and there's like people behind me talking, and they were talking about like fashion and media and blogging and stuff. So then I turned around, the girl's like, "Oh my gosh, you're Mollie." I was like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, I follow you on Instagram." I'm like, "This is creepy."
Yeah.
And so they're just like a random group around me. So we all like became really good friends until like to this day we still talk to each other.
That's
and
cool.
then
They're all from the area?
yes. And so then Elena Davies, who is on the season prior to the one I was auditioning for, her and her then boyfriend, who we don't talk about,
Okay.
because they met on the show. She just like showed up and was like giving advice to people. So I finally talked to her because she used to be on Kiss FM, I believe.
Yeah.
And so she was like kind of in the industry. And so I was like, how did you do it? She's like, just keep going after and like putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And so since then I worked with her a few times in the past few years.
Yeah.
And so that was like a big opportunity of putting myself out there, and like, you never know who you'll meet.
Is Kiss FM still around? Is that still a thing?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
I don't listen to the radio anymore. So.
Me either. And I used to work for a few stations in
Really?
Dallas, and I never listened to their show.
So how many Instagram followers? You said you just got recognized at a random thing for your Instagram followers. How many followers do you have to have before people start recognizing you in public?
Well, like on my personal one, I finally got to like a little over 3,000.
Okay.
And so I think
Is that
like
a big number?
for like maybe like macro influencers, but like huge influencers, I know they have like 12,000, and maybe some of them are bought.
Yeah.
And so, but I started
Is
getting,
there some shame in that? You said that kind of.
yeah, kind of like, I think because it's not very organic, and
Yeah.
it's not like,
Well, it's not as effective, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not actually following you, then
yeah,
what do you really got?
yes,
My
yes.
guest 2 days ago, House of Whiting, with the owners of that company. They have 36,000 followers on their Instagram page.
Oh, wow.
He showed it to me, and I was like, what?
Yes. Yeah, like I think it's crazy. You can like just click on their follows and you like see like it's all like weird names, no profile pictures, no nothing. I'm like, you can totally tell it's bot.
Okay.
And so,
I'll have to dig a little deeper.
yes.
So what is your company Instagram up to now?
Well, for my company one, just a little over 1,000. And so, but like my personal one, I have 3,000, but I've been working on that, gosh, since high school.
Yeah.
Whenever I was like, I remember I post like photos of like spaghetti and like random stuff. So I'm like, ooh, no, never again.
I don't know why I'm so interested with that. I just got an Instagram, so I'm looking at this like poking it with a stick. Like, what's it do? I don't know yet.
Yes,
So
yes.
I've always, I boycotted Facebook for years. I was a MySpace guy, so I didn't need
Yes.
Facebook.
Oh, yes. I remember MySpace.
So I'm just now trying to. I feel like I'm getting Instagram figured out, and then there's Twitter, which I don't really get. I'm trying to figure that one out, and then my friend was just showing me TikTok.
Yes.
So there's another one I got to figure out, I guess.
Oh, yes. For the longest time, I was like, I refuse TikTok. Like, I just don't understand it. But I did download a few weeks ago, just like look at the videos.
Yeah.
Some of them were really funny and like keep me up to like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck?
That's what happened to us. We were sitting on the couch, and she starts showing me these TikTok videos. And as soon as she says TikTok, I'm like, oh, get that out of my face. I'm not looking at that. And then she said, well, just look at this. And then it was like, whoo, some kind of tractor beam. She's got my focus, and I can't pull away now.
Yes.
And then I kind of snapped out of it. I was like, oh, my God, we've been doing this for an hour.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, yeah, you're right. We should put this away. And then she's like, but look, there's an animal one. And she shows there's like dolphins and,
yes,
the little otters with the little, Anyway, so there goes another hour.
Yeah.
We just couldn't pull ourselves away from it.
Oh, yeah. I think my camera roll is like filled with all TikTok videos. It's just like sending them to like friends and stuff. That's so relatable stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So it sounds like a lot of your work was focused around photography.
Yes.
Is that kind of the backbone of everything you've been doing?
Yes. And so it'll actually be 9 years on July 3rd, my birthday. And so I don't know, it's just always been, I've always had like either like not digital, like a Kodak little disposable camera in my hand. Like every time we go on road
Still
trips.
use those?
No, not those, but I did use some film cameras before. Okay. And so every time we go on road trip, Mom was like, oh, here's a camera, just like take photos or whatever. So I've always had a camera in my hand. And then I learned, I think my third great grandfather was a photographer. Okay. And so we found, so my granddad, he gave me all of his old cameras. So it's like the box cameras, you like look down into it, take photos, have like that, and like old Polaroids cameras.
You like that kind of stuff?
They're very neat to like learn about and stuff, but I don't know if I could ever.
And it's a full-time
use
hobby.
One.
There's so many different models. There's so many different formats of film.
Yes.
Have you ever tried to develop any?
Yeah. So I had to take a black and white film class at SMU. Okay. And so we'd have like a project every week. And so we had like a dark room to like develop everything. And for the longest time, I guess, because like you have these canisters that you like put the film in, put all the chemicals in. And so mine would never come out right. And so finally we realized the formula she gave us was for a different size canister. Oh, crap. So finally...
So you're like over developing or you're just cooking it too much?
I forget what it was. It's been years now. And so finally my last project, I got it right. Okay. I was like, yes. So I like redeemed myself the last week of school. And so, but yeah, those cameras, I don't know how they did it back then because now it's like all digital and...
Yeah, it was extremely intricate, and there were so many different models that I don't know how anybody could keep up, but it would literally be, back in the day, there were no hobbyist film camera people, I don't think, because it's so intricate. I started this all happened by accident. I started a film group, a vintage film camera group on Facebook, and the reason I did this is I was at a garage sale, and I can't remember what I was looking for, but I found these old film cameras. And in my opinion, they were old. They were probably only about 40, 50 years old, some of them. Some of them maybe a little bit older. But I took them because they were cool. And I thought, well, at very least, I can use these for, just putting up on the mantle. Or
yeah, good decorations.
Art. Right.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, you can have all of this stuff for $50. And I mean, like, 3 or 4 trips back and forth to the truck. He's like, $50. I'm like, wow. Yeah, for sure. So I grabbed it all up, and when I got home, I was looking on Facebook to find a group that I could, find out information on these cameras, because I thought, well, I might have something that's worth several $100s. I don't know. Yeah. Because they looked pretty cool and really old and in pretty good shape. So I got on there, and something happened with that group, and they disbanded. I'm like, well, I'll just start my own damn group. So I did, and now it's up to like 10,000 followers.
Oh, wow. So
every day I'm looking at this old vintage film camera stuff, and it's really cool, and I had no idea how much stuff was involved with that, but the rabbit hole just goes deeper every time I look into it. So, yeah. very crazy. And I've never tried to develop film, but I know it's a very intricate process. So
Oh yes, like I
it's cool that
still
you have that
have.
experience.
Yeah, because I still have like all of my prints that I do, and like you have to like cut out strips,
Mm-hmm.
and then oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. It's been 3 years now, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
since the class, and so you have to like put like some plexiglass over paper so it doesn't get exposed to light,
Okay.
and so you have to like
It's got
have the
like
light
a
on.
UV filter to it or something. That's okay.
I don't know. It's like you have to like have the light on it for so long and then go down the strip to like see how long you should have it exposed. And so I still have like all those, like 500 of them.
Do you ever look at them?
Sometimes there's some photos in there of like friends that I'm like, I don't even want to see your face
Oh
anymore.
no, you'll fill out.
So yeah, but I'm like, I'll just keep it for memories. And so
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Well, tell me a little more about how you settled into your area over there, and because you're in Dallas right now, right?
So I live like in the Rockwall area.
Oh wow, so you're way out there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's why I have venti coffee. I'm like, it's gonna be a drive, but
Right. And you got something coming up right after this.
yes, so that's actually like another story of how I met these blogger girls to do their photos.
Is this the same Nebraska Furniture Girls?
No, it is
okay.
not. It's actually kind of interesting.
Okay.
So quick story for everyone. So I guess it was about a year ago. I was just on Instagram going through like a comment spree of like I would click on like Dallas blogger hashtag, and I would just comment be like, "Oh, I love your skirt. Like, where'd you get it?" Like just random stuff. Just like try to get followers, like people to notice me.
Right.
And so I like commented on these girls' blog posts or their Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, cute shoes." I don't even know what I said. And then months later, one of the sisters messaged me. She's like, "Oh, hey, I was like going through our comments and I saw yours." And then I'm like digging deeper into you. And apparently we're in the same like online sales class at Texas A&M. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Is this stalker level stuff? Almost.
Probably. I guess she probably recognized my name and saw we were in the same classes for online school. And so then find out they like live in the Fort Worth area, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we need a photographer for our blog stuff." So I'm like, "Me."
Yeah.
And so I messaged them. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Fort Worth if you want to do photos." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll love to." And so
they're the girls that like did all the investigating and found you.
yes.
Yeah, just make sure they don't have like a dark paneled van.
Oh gosh. Yes. Okay. Yes. I'll make sure.
You're a celebrity now, right?
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Well, cool. And so they have a blog. What are they blogging about?
Just like random like lifestyle stuff, like fashion. Gosh, what all do they blog about? I don't know. I know they post a lot of like Lily Pulitzer, like all the fashion and just like random like girl stuff, I guess.
So do you do a lot of photography for little groups like that, or? Because I mean, you're doing stuff with FC Dallas, Dallas Stars,
yes.
SMU football.
Yeah, so I think my huge niche is definitely sports, then also like bloggers and influencers. And so just because like I'm very budget friendly, just because like I know their struggle of like trying to like start from literally nothing and build their way up. And so I think that really helped me of like getting more clients is like not to like undersell myself, but to give a reasonable price to help them build themselves up. And so yeah, that's been helpful of networking with like smaller people.
Well, everybody's going to want a piece of that if you're, at or below market price for photography, because I've seen some of your work and those are some incredible photos that you take. Do you do all the editing yourself?
Yes. Shooting, editing, everything.
You're using Lightroom and all the Adobe products.
Yes, I use, Lightroom, Photoshop, and then, so there's an app I use for, like, my personal photos for, like, Instagram, just, like, random stuff. And so I guess, like, a few weeks ago, I was like, I want to see what these, like, all the photos that I do for sessions look like on these filters that I use. So I sent them all through to my iPad. So then I edit them and then I send them back to my computer and they're like amazing. And so it takes a little bit longer just because like you can buy the preset for the Lightroom, but it's like $50. I'm like, I'm buying it for $2 on my phone. Like, no, I'm going to be cheap and like take some time for it.
Well, you know, with all the different things that you can buy, editing software, and you can really end up in a hole pretty quick. So it's good that you're kind of, I can do this for $2 rather than 50.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Just dealing with some of this podcast stuff, it's like, well, you can do this, but you should also do this. And since you're doing that, why don't you do this? And before you know it, you got $100 shopping cart and you've been online for 5 minutes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And it's okay to have these weird pauses too, because I can edit those out. So I put a post up on a Facebook group asking for guests on the show. And you saw that and you jumped on it.
Yes.
What made you want to do that? Is there like a specific thing you wanted to talk about?
I don't know. I just feel like nowadays everyone has like an iPhone or like cameras are getting more like reasonable price. And so I feel like everyone's like a photographer now.
Everybody's a photographer.
Yes, everyone's mom's, aunt, dog, everyone's a photographer. Right. And so I'm like, I've been doing this for 9 years and then like I built it up, but then like more people come on. And so I'm like, well, I gotta get creative, like how to get myself out there. And so I saw it and it said, first thing I think you listed was photographer. I was like, me, I want to do this. And so I just always, like I've get like people wanting like, oh, we want to put you on our like online blog or something. It's like they're featuring like literally every entrepreneur in Dallas of like makeup artists and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And so I was talking to a friend about it. And this is like back in February or October. She's like, Mollie, just do it. Like, just put yourself out there. And like, you never know what could happen. So ever since then, I was like, I'm going to jump on every opportunity that I can, just put myself out there. And so I saw your post and I was like, I want to do this. And
Glad you did. And I certainly don't want to have everybody on the podcast, but you know, so whenever I did that, I put that post out. I went and I looked through every link that people shared with me. And when I looked at yours, I was like, this is incredible. So you're not sitting here just because I needed somebody to talk to, which I did. But I picked you out of the lineup. I had something like 30 responses out of all the different posts I made. And your portfolio is just very impressive. So
thank you.
But I'm glad to hear that you have all these different things cooking. And you're absolutely right. The more connections you make over time, the more people you know, the more doors that'll open up. So that's really good. And that's part of what's going on here. The first 10 episodes are just to get to know people, familiarize ourselves with what's going on in the area, and whoever will sit down and talk to us about these things. And, you know, maybe that'll strike up some really good conversations. So far, it's been awesome. We had a nurse that just got back from New York.
Oh, wow.
And she was part of a coronavirus response team, I guess. 5,000 nurses from around the country that went to New York. And she had amazing stories, scary stories, but
oh gosh,
amazing
I
stories.
bet.
And then yesterday sat down with the folks from House of Whiting, and they took me up in their beautiful downtown apartment, and we took over one of the conference rooms, and he was involved in the riots that took place over there on West 7th not more than a week ago. Yeah. And so that you just never know what you're going to get into with these. Sat down with Lindsay Hightower and her guitarist, Taylor. They're local musicians. They play a lot in Fort Worth and Dallas, but and we'll have more musicians on in the future, but
fun.
So, I'm excited to see where this goes. I have zero expectations, but like you said, you got to put in some work, and maybe it'll lead somewhere.
Yes.
But I'm already meeting awesome people, so
yes.
Good.
Yeah, I think for like a year now, it's always been back in my head, like, because everyone's like, oh, be a podcast or do a podcast. And whenever I met with Elena Davies over the past year, she started her own podcast, like interviewing her friends and stuff. And she's like, yeah, it may seem so saturated, but it's like, who cares? Like, just do it and just see what happens. So like for a year now, it's like been in the back of my head. It's like, oh, I want to do a podcast, but I don't know what
Definitely
about.
do it.
And so I've been thinking like small business or like women's small business owners. And so I don't know.
Well, even if it's just the people that are following you on your social media content, that just builds a stronger connection with the people that are following you. So if you start a podcast, and let's say, I know you have more than this, but let's just say you have 100 followers on Facebook. They're going to be able to listen to things that you're talking to your friends about, or maybe sit down with whoever and have an interesting conversation. That's just going to bring those 100 people closer to you.
Yes.
So that's good to have that. My phone was just vibrating, and I know that's going to show up. But I know that there's one thing that the podcast community doesn't need, and it's more so-called experts or self-nominated experts.
Yes.
Life coaches, motivational speakers. If you're not Tony Robbins, you know, we're good. We've already got that checked. But there's a lot in the area. And I should probably not say that because there's going to be another podcaster that has a podcast like that, and they're going to get upset.
Oh, gosh. Well, maybe.
But there's a lot of them. So when you say saturation, the only reason I said that is because that is an extremely saturated market. But what is not saturated are your followers listening to you have a podcast. That's not saturated. There's only one Mollie.
True. Speak.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you have a motivational podcast, I did not mean to offend you. I was just trying to encourage our friend Mollie here.
Oh, gosh.
So, Sasquatch.
Yes.
How do you feel about Sasquatch? Is he real? Does he exist? Where does he exist? Where did he come from?
Oh, gosh. May have to ask my friend Kat Dunn about that.
Okay, Kat Dunn, you got to come on. Tell us about
Yes.
Sasquatch.
Okay. So have you ever watched Big Brother? We were talking about it earlier.
Right, yeah. I've seen a little bit. I'm not like a huge watcher, but.
So through all my networking stuff, so we actually worked for the same sports company, but I started right when she was leaving.
Okay.
And
Which sports company is this?
It's called D210 Sports.
Okay.
And it's they're on Spectrum Cable. It's just like on camera reporting about games and stuff.
Yeah.
And so through all my networking, I got to photograph her. So we became friends. And then she was on Big Brother last season. And she's like, I forget the word that she describes herself, but she's always like, y'all know aliens are real, and like all these theories of like how aliens are real. And so
There's some good ones.
yes,
I like the ones that are so far out that you're like, I need to be high to listen to this. Those are my favorite ones.
Yes.
But there's just recently the Navy released some kind of, it got leaked, and then the Navy said, yeah, that's our video. Did you see that one?
Oh, like the UFOs or drones or
there's a
something?
UFO, and there's a pilot, and he's talking, he's tracking the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. One of my friends shared that and tagged her in it. And they're like, oh my gosh, the aliens are coming. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, it hit the news, and then COVID.
yes.
It was gone.
Yes.
And so I believe coronavirus was just here to keep us from paying attention to the aliens.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yes.
So there's no more room for discussion on aliens. Those exist, right?
Maybe.
How about underground lizard people?
Underground lizard people?
You don't know about those?
No.
Illuminati, the secret tunnels,
No.
the elite traveling around on beams of light, transforming from humans back into lizard people, and
What?
in reverse. Yeah, it's
Why
a
have
thing.
I not heard about this?
Well, you're not listening to enough podcasts.
Oh, gosh.
That's the problem.
Oh, gosh. So are you going to have a lizard person on after me?
If I can find a lizard person, yeah, we're gonna have some questions.
Okay. If you find a lizard person, I will believe in them.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Okay.
Just me.
Yes.
So if somebody else brings up lizard people,
Okay, now I got to think about that. I got to think about that.
how about this? If lizard people ever become a thing, and there's irrefutable proof of lizard people, you have to come to this podcast to talk about it. If Mollie goes and talks to anybody else about lizard people on a podcast, we got a problem.
Ooh.
We're fighting.
Okay. I'll think about that for sure.
Rockwall is a beautiful area. I did not finish this. Maybe I will at some point. I started taking private pilot lessons, and Rockwall, the lake over there, is that Ray Hubbard?
Ray Hubbard, yeah.
That was kind of the place that we would go and practice maneuvers and turns around a point and all that stuff.
Cool.
So I got kind of enamored with that lake, and then I drove out there one day just to check it out because I'd only seen it from 5,000 feet or above.
Okay,
And
that's pretty casual.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's not too high. You can basically jump out and just hop out of the plane and you're good. But there's a spot over there. It's got a Hilton Hotel, big
The
strip
harbor.
mall. The harbor, yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever done sailing with Scott?
Um,
It's a big wooden boat. It's a
trying
catamaran.
to
It's a
think.
sailboat.
I don't think I've sailed, but I've been on a party boat there.
So they have the other one that is like a larger party boat, holds like 40 people. It's got 2 decks, like an
Yes,
upper
I've been
deck
on
and a-
that. Yes.
Yeah, I've been on that one too. But if the catamaran is still out there, that is a lot of fun.
Oh,
It's a good date
okay.
idea too. So if you've got a hot date and you need something original,
Yes.
it's called Sailing with Scott. I've done it twice, and it's a lot of fun.
Ooh, fun. I was just actually out there yesterday doing a photo shoot.
Are you?
Yes.
There's a lot of good backdrops there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It was a very nice day yesterday.
It looks
But-
like it's kind of like it's getting a little bit run down. I hate to say that, but I went out there about a year ago,
Really?
and it was kind of looking rough. Some of the shops were closed.
Yeah. I guess I usually only go there for like restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
There's one restaurant there, Gloria's. It's a good Mexican restaurant.
We've got one here. They're
Oh,
amazing.
their mimosas.
Have you had their $10 margarita?
Okay, my friend yesterday said something about that, and I don't think I've had there.
Danger.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now I got to try it.
Yeah. If you are driving, you need to make sure you have 3 hours before you get behind the wheel if you're going to have one.
Oh gosh.
Strong.
Dang.
And if TABC ever finds out about this, TABC doesn't listen to podcasts, so we're good. But
Okay.
if they ever do, Gloria's is probably getting shut down indefinitely because
Ooh.
those damn margaritas are so strong. Like, I'm serious. If you have one, you ain't driving.
Oh
You have
gosh.
2, you're done for the night.
Oh gosh.
And I think
Just
they
call an
actually,
Uber.
yeah, I think they have a 2 margarita limit. Like,
Oh wow.
you can't order 3. I might be wrong. I'm probably making all this up. Maybe it was just me they wouldn't give 3 to.
Yeah, now I'm tempted to
Sir,
go try.
Sir, three's too much for you. Two's the
God.
limit tonight. Maybe that's what it was.
Ooh, see, there is it used to be on Knox and Henderson in Dallas. This like really cool hip bar, and they had bottomless mimosas.
Jesus.
And we asked the waitress one day, we're like, so is there a limit? She's like, well, we put 15. We're like, bet.
15?
Yeah, 15 glasses. So we tried. I think we got to like 10.
I feel like your teeth would rot out after 15 mimosas.
We were there for like 8 hours, I think.
Jesus, what were y'all doing?
Just drinking. Like literally the year after I graduated, because most of my friends and sorority sisters, they were still at SMU. So like every single Saturday for a good year, we would go to this one bar at like, they opened at like 11 in the morning, and we didn't leave till like 5:30 that
Did you already
night.
tell me the name of this place?
No, because I don't know if they're reopening or not.
Oh, no.
Because they have like all that construction down there, and
Yeah.
so it's like taking up all their parking. And so I think they're moving to a new location or they're closing. I don't
I hate
know.
that. There's so many businesses that just got shut down.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And
Oh,
there
yeah.
were a lot, like, I don't know how badly they were impacted, but over here in Fort Worth, we've got Magnolia. I think that's right. It's over in kind of the hospital district, just south of 30.
I think I've been there.
You probably have, yeah. It's a pretty hot little spot. And there were, I think, 40 different businesses that were set to open up in 2020, all within like a 3 or 4 block area.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many of them are going to make it. Like, because,
Wow.
you know, you invest all that money,
Mm-hmm.
you've got a timeline set up, like, okay, you know, we got to start making money at this point. We'll open the doors at this point, whatever. You know, you've got a timeline in your head. That's what you tell your investors if you've got any kind of financial backing. And then you start spending money, and then coronavirus hits, and you can't do anything. You're not
Yeah.
making the money that you thought you would. You got rent to worry
Yes.
about and all that other stuff. So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll have to see after the dust settles, like, which businesses made it and which ones didn't.
Mm-hmm.
What we can do to support them, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely like all businesses right now need
Yeah.
the support.
So just lately, I've always been one of those guys that's like, you should buy American-made stuff. You should support American, businesses, stuff like that. But but I don't think I was ever very serious about it. And just lately, I've been like turning things over and looking like, where was this made? Does it say made in China? Because if it does, I'm going to look for a comparable product that was made here in the States.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was amazed. You can't hardly find anything made in the
Oh,
US.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
very damn difficult. So I think there needs to be a resource for that. Like, go to a website. And I did find a website, and I can't remember the name of it, but there is a website where it's like all made in Texas stuff. But the ones that I did find and I did look at, it was like super like novelty. You know, like Texas-shaped cookie cutters and crap like that. It's like, no, I need a rubber spatula that I can use on my cast iron pan.
Yes.
Sorry, those are only made in China.
Yes. Yeah, I remember I think early February, I was meeting with a friend. He used to play for SMU basketball.
Okay.
And he was going to go into the NBA, but like all these injuries happened. So now he's wanting to do like athleisure wear. And so we met, I want to say early February. He's like, well, this coronavirus thing, it's like putting a stop on everything because all my stuff is coming from China. I was like, dude, just like, you have like, you're here in Dallas, or like you can just Google like local t-shirt company or like printing company or something. So I'm not sure if he did that. I met with him last week and had like boxes full of stuff. And so hopefully that encouraged him to shop local and stuff, just because like it does put a huge damper on like a pandemic like this. You can't do business with some products.
Well, I hope it kind of snaps us as Americans out of the fog that we seem to be living in, you know, like, and to hell with t-shirts and spatulas. A lot of medicines come from China.
Yes.
And there were specifically a dialysis medication that these people that have to have dialysis on a weekly basis, they take this medicine, and it's a daily medicine. And if they don't take it daily, they will die.
Oh,
that
wow.
medication is from China.
It's only from China?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did not know that.
Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that we need to probably fix.
Yes.
So that next time this happens, because it will, there will be another virus.
Oh, yeah.
And
Definitely another wave.
People will freak out. Were you impressed by how quick the gas stations got those, like, plexiglass windows set up after?
Oh, yes.
That's the one thing that blew my mind. It was like day 2, and they've got all these splash shields, like, hanging from the ceilings.
Yes.
Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty quick.
Yes.
Well, Molly, I know you've got to get out of here. You've got the engagement with your bloggers.
Yes.
Remember to watch for a black paneled van.
Oh, yes, I will.
Feel free to come back anytime. I'll probably bug you here in the near future to see what you've been up to. And maybe we can bring your blog friends on here and talk about aliens.
Ooh, yes. Oh, yes. Kat would love that.
Okay. Kat. Yeah.
Yes.
Kat, if you're listening to this, we want you to come out here and talk with me and Molly.
Yes, I'll send that to her.
Okay, friends, that's all for now. I got 3 more episodes to record today, so looking forward to that. Thank y'all for listening. Molly, thank you very much for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, bye, everybody.